Haunting in Venice is out right now in theaters, guys. And if you've gone out to see it, I hope you are thinking about it, because it's actually not that bad of a film. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's the third film as Kenneth Branagh playing the Poirot character, A Haunting in Venice. And what I liked about it, actually what I like about all these ones, is that it seems to pick up at a time, at different times of Poirot's career. So you don't need to see the other ones to understand what's going on in this particular one. It's very episodic, right? It just helps to know some of his background character as he takes on different cases, right? They pay tribute to other installments, like through nods and stuff like that. So this synopsis reads, in post-World War II Venice, Poirot, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a seance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. Yes, and one of the things that jumps right up off the page in this one is the cinematography. The setup is simple. Basically, Tina Fey's character comes to him and says, come to the seance. I know you don't believe in all this stuff, but at least it'll be a chance for you to prove where all the huckster and tricksters are using their little traps and stuff, right? Like that was interesting to look at, to say, okay, here's an intensely analytical guy who's a skeptic from day one, doesn't believe any of this stuff. How is he going to pick it all apart, kind of thing? And like, that's a cool angle. It is. And to know that it's like Kenneth Branagh and his ability trying to pick apart somebody who, like Michelle Yeoh is the medium in this one. And the acting is also one of the big front standouts here from the entire cast. Now, this cast is not quite as expansive as, say, Death on the Nile or Murder on the Orient Express. It's a bit of a smaller cast, but everybody does great in it. Jamie Dornan, Michelle Yeoh, Tina Fey, Kelly Riley, who I've never seen before, but she's in Yellowstone, right? And she did a really good job in this too. And this is the kind of murder mystery movie where it's kind of like a whodunit kind of thing, where you go into it watching for clues, thinking, all right, yeah, it's got to be in the way that this certain phrase was said, right? There's got to be a clue in there. Why is the director showing us this about this particular little thing here? And it's kind of like, all right, your brain gets going and you're like looking for clues, and it does a very good job of keeping that mystery confined until like the big reveal kind of thing. Like, I didn't guess it. I didn't see it coming. So I like that. And the scale of trying to figure it out, kind of, if you're not a seasoned person at doing it, looking at these movies and looking for all the clues and making like a mental catalog of all these things, then you probably won't figure it out. It's on the more hard scale, I would say. It's not an easy giveaway, and I appreciated that. So that being said, what I was saying about the scorecard, let's go over and put in some numbers here for this review. Now, cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point each. By default, those get 0.5. But cinematography-wise, guys, I thought it was probably, out of all those points, I think I would give cinematography a full point. The score, serviceable, 0.5. So yeah. Acting, I already mentioned that Kenneth Branagh was good. So that's 1 point. But on top of everybody else, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Dornan, surprisingly, in this supporting characters, there's enough there for 2. Is anybody Oscar worthy? No. But 1.5 for acting. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. As far as the execution of the story, the pacing of it, it's pretty good too. It comes in just about an hour and 43 minutes, and you don't really feel that because, as I said, for the first part, you're looking for clues. Everybody's a suspect, and you're kind of like, you don't know who's going to get murdered or how they're going to get murdered. You just know something's going to go awry. Now, the cinematography does pay off some of the creepiness of this set, right? Kenneth Branagh filmed it in such a way with a lot of weird angles, people standing really close to the bottom of the screen, kind of thing, projecting that there's could be something coming up behind them. He uses a lot of wide-angle lenses. It seemed that were zoomed in to create an effect of it being like, you know how sometimes the widescreen has like around the edges it'll be kind of like blurry, but you can tell that they're using a really wide angle lens, but it feels like they use that, but they've cropped it in so that you don't have the blurriness on the side, but it's still a wide image. It's really interesting. So for that, I would definitely go check it out. Is it really scary? Uh, Not really. There's a few jump scares in there, but I mean, it's Agatha Christie. You can't embellish it too much. It was just fun to see Kenneth Branagh as Poirot trying to figure this thing out, and that's the draw. So let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about this. See if we agree with some of the highlight reviews. 78% by the critics, 71% by the audience. So for the most part, it's not stellar reviews, but upon a first glance, it looks like it's a quality film, and that's what I said when I came out of the theater. My initial reaction was, this is a good film. There's really not much for me to complain about here. So let's just take a look at what some of the snapshot people are saying here in their reviews. Movie Freak says, A Haunting in Venice is cracking good fun. Cracking good fun. That's kind of weird. Consequence says, Venice, if nothing else, is a pleasant reminder that stories can be spooky without aiming for hard scares. Yeah, without the grotesque, element in there, or like the jump scares. This is much more reliant on the tone, and the way that it feels. And I like that. I like that a lot. So let's take a look at some people who didn't like it. Parade Magazine. Agatha Christie's famed detective has now solved 3 cases under Shakespearean actors' direction, but the latest, starring Tina Fey and Michelle Yeoh, still suffers from rigor mortis. No, I don't agree with that. Not the charm you might be hoping for unless you're a fan of Endless Rain. 2. Mini jump scares. Really? Jump scares? I wouldn't say that. Unsettling camera angles, ragged handheld camera work, onerous close-ups, and score drowning in dreary woodwinds and screechy violins. So that person's calling out the score. I wouldn't say this about the jump scares. See how like this is a normal thing? Towards the end, when they start to get like really ramping it up, they don't go with that big loud, oh, there's somebody standing behind you. Yeah, you get that eerie feeling because it's framed in such a weird way. But eventually there are creepy things that do appear in the background that they don't go like flashing in front of you like this to make you go, ah! It's just unsettling that you do see something there in the background of the frame. And Branagh doesn't really highlight it too much. I found that especially in the reveal towards the end, it has to do with water. There's an underwater kind of element that happens, and something shows up in the background, but it's not accented by a music piece or anything like that. It just slowly transitioned to this eerie image, and that's what you're going to get with Haunting in Venice, in the sense of it being horrific or scary. Overall, I liked it. I would probably, well, let's see. The critics are saying 78%, 71%. I would probably think that I would have a score sheet somewhere around that mark. Let's just fill out the rest of the score sheet and see where I land. Directing, I think, was quality, and because of those types of shots and execution of like the settings and stuff, I'll give it 1.5 for directing. The story was interesting, so that's a 0.5 for that. I like the fact that it's short. And then I just like the fact that you're seeing it from different angles, right? You're seeing it from different perspectives of like from his career. But if somebody were to say that the story is the weakest part, I could perhaps see that as well. I just like I like the cast, and I like the setup, and I like the length of the movie. It's not long. Watchability factor. You want to watch it at least once, and then again, if you're a fan of this, you will want to watch it again to see how well those clues were hidden and stuff. And you might want to end. If you're a fan of Branagh overall, you could say, yeah, you might want to own it on a Blu-ray. That'll be worth the full 2 points, but I don't know about that. I don't think I would want it. Story, I think I am going to give it another 0.5 here, guys. I think I am going to go by 1.5. Yeah. And I think that's where I feel good. I didn't plan it out to be that way, but I can't give 2 for the acting or directing or the story. Watchability factor is the only place that I could give it another 0.5 to make it an 8 out of 10, but I think for the most part, yeah, A Haunting in Venice, 7.5 is a good film. Unfortunately, it's going to come and go because not a lot of people are talking about, buzzing about it. If I were to tell you, should you go out and see this in the theater because it's worthwhile, I would say yes because of the way that it was filmed. That cinematography and the tone, and if you just want that kind of spooky kind of feeling right now, this movie will be right up your alley. Like, it's not on the horrific level of, say, The Nun 2 or anything like that, but it's got that thriller suspense angle to it that I appreciated, and I look forward to more. I hope we do get more. That's what I said in my initial reaction when I came out. So 7.5 for A Haunting in Venice. What do you guys think? Have you gone out and seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Yeah. So I have to figure out a way to transfer the score over to here. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Because when I go over to this sheet, this is pulling from, it's actually pulling from an Excel file. So when I'm putting in numbers here, I'm not actually putting numbers in a spot that you guys can see. I'm putting it in a table off to the side, so that when I change this, it'll change to what I want, the bars and stuff, and it'll change the total. So it's a work in progress. I'm gonna figure out. I'll figure it out. It's just I thought it was neat to try to resurrect the old way of showing you guys how I break down my scores. Sometimes it's a little too analytical for some people. It's like, you really think about it that much, James? Well, yes, I do. Doesn't it take the fun away? No. Flawless review, James. You piqued my interest. Yeah. As I said, it's good. It's a good, fun watch. You're not going to be like, ooh, I felt like I just wasted my an hour and a half there. No, you're not going to feel like that. It's good. And a lot of that has to do with Branagh caring, and he puts these films on his shoulders for sure.